DreamHack is the world's largest digital festival and holds the official world record as the world's largest LAN party in the Guinness Book of Records. Telia enabled the fast internet access and the fiber optic network and set up a 300-kilometer-long connection from Jönköping to Stockholm, designed to serve up to 750,000 users streaming music simultaneously. Cisco contributes with the hardware and 2 CRS-3 routers, the most powerful router in the world. One was installed in Jönköping and one in Stockholm. A very advanced laser technology was used for the transmission of the signal between the two cities. The signal then traveled into the public internet before it returned to Jönköping in less than 1 millisecond.
Från DreamHacks ände, hur har det varit att bygga det här fantastiska nätverket?
Det har varit otroligt jobbigt, men otroligt roligt. Vi har jobbat i 5 dagar i sträck nu med cirka 16 timmars arbetsdagar. Så det är otroligt mycket jobb som vi lägger ner bakom.
Welcome to the DreamHoN Grand Finals here at DreamHack Summer 2012. Here's the North fans, make some noise! We have got an amazing event set up today. It's just going to be absolutely unbelievable. We have an awesome grudge match for you. The two returning players, or the two returning teams, I'm sorry, from DreamHack winner 2011. Give it up for TT eSports. And of course, the 3-time reigning champions, this being the 5th turn in a row for the organization, Fnatic.Raidcall. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to invite Slicks from TT eSports and Fly from Fnatic.Raidcall to come up here and talk a little bit to you guys about how they feel. Slicks? Guys, get up for Slicks from TT eSports. So Slicks, how you feeling tonight?
Feeling really good, confident, ready to play.
Yeah? How do you guys feel about your chances tonight?
Probably 70-30.
70-30, 70% win?
Yeah, 70-30.
Okay, awesome. So as far as you guys' preparation for this event, how has the road to DreamHack been for you guys, and have you guys achieved everything you've wanted to so far?
Well, in preparation to the event, we were training with L for the whole time, and then recently, since we arrived, we've been playing with Minot, so yeah.
Okay, yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So you still think that you still feel like you guys have a really good shot though tonight?
Feeling pretty confident. Fnatic's really strong, but I think we're just as strong. So it's going to be a good game.
Awesome. All right, give it up. TT eSports. Fly. Everybody get up for Fly from Fnatic.Raidcall. Fly, how you feeling tonight?
I'm feeling great. It's great to be back here, 4th time in a row now, hopefully. So, yeah.
So what would a 4th championship for you mean for DreamHack?
A lot. Every year it's getting a lot harder. Each time there's more competition, more teams from Asia. It's really cool and it means a lot.
How excited are you to have this rematch against formerly Fnatic.Raid, but now TT eSports here?
It's pretty cool. I think last time was the roughest time we've ever had, so hopefully these games will be even better, and we hope to win once more.
Yeah, awesome. All right, guys, give it up for Fly. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce the shoutcasters for tonight's event, Breaky CPK and Diori. Take it away, Breaky.
All right, how's it going, guys? Ladies and gentlemen, you ready to watch some Heroes of New Earth tonight? That's right. That's what I thought. I'm Breaky CPK, of course, going to be joined by Ziori as a co-host, and we are really excited to be here. We are in the Grand Finals here at DreamHack Summer 2012 for the DreamHon event. Of course, we've got TT Esports going to be taking on Fnatic.Raidcall in a best out of 3. So much money's on the line. $60,000 prize pool overall. It's a $32,000 prize pool for the first place team and $16,000 for the second place team. So Ziori, man, what do you expect to happen tonight?
Oh, this is going to be an insane series. Both these teams have practiced so hard to get here. Oh gosh, it's going to be a long series, Breaky. TT Esports, all the way here from Australia, and of course Fnatic.Raidcall, you know, our 3-time champion. So it's going to be a series.
Yeah, of course, TT Esports coming all the way from Australia, like you said. But again, a lot of their players have that experience. Well, I say a lot, but obviously it's really only Slicks and Watalaba, unfortunately, as far as having the experience being at this DreamArena. But you know, at least some of the players have that experience. And so that's kind of a big deal, you know, kind of rubbing off on one another when it comes to the other players. So hopefully that has an effect. And for Fnatic.Raidcall, 3 of their players, of course, returning. You got Fly, No-Tail, and Nova. Fantastic players. And of course, going to be joined by Era and Hani. So, man, oh man, as far as getting here, you know, TT Esports, obviously they finished first in their group, went 6-1 overall in terms of record. However, their only loss in the group stage was to Fnatic.Raidcall. So, I don't know. You think that's on their minds?
Definitely. You know, only dropping one game in that group stage, you know, it has to hurt a little bit. You know, Fnatic.Raidcall, we saw them struggle a little bit in the early phases. There was that upset against Orange Esports, and there was a short time in the beginning of the group phase where we thought, you know, Fnatic might not make it. So to see them make it to the finals is good, and they have to be riding some of that momentum still.
Yeah, it's definitely, it was a crazy group stage. If you missed any of it, and I'm sure people here probably didn't miss too much of it, but if you did miss any of it, hopefully you can check out the VODs later on, because it was quite the group stage. But again, TT Esports, they finished first place with the 6-1 record. Fnatic.Raidcall, as you mentioned, 5-2 record, finishing second place. But both of them, of course, defeating their opponents to get to this point in time. But, you know, again, this is being considered that rematch, so a kind of 2-time thing here. So TT Esports, especially Slicks and Watalaba, going to be trying to get in some revenge tonight. So really excited for that, and I cannot wait. And I want to get Game 1 started. How about you guys out there? You guys want to get Game 1 started for Heroes of New Earth?
All right. Love to hear that audience excited.
Yeah, that's always a good thing. And I've talked about this before, you know, when it comes down to being in the DreamArena, I've had the privilege, this is now my 4th time actually here, so it's always a lot of fun, you know, meeting the fans, not only that are just passionate about Heroes of New Earth. It's an awesome experience, and you know, the cheers and everything, so hopefully you guys can keep it up tonight, so definitely keeping that level. We'll ask you that much, but I'm sure you'll come through for us, so looking forward to that. It looks like both teams are ready, though. Are you ready, Ziori?
I am more than ready. Breaky CPK, I've been to 2 DreamHacks now, first time casting. I am so excited to be here. Like you said, the DreamArena, absolutely amazing. So many dedicated HoN fans here, and of course our 10 dedicated HoN players, world-class players here for you guys, and it's going to be a hell of a show.
Yeah, it is packed here in the arena, as always, for the HoN Finals, so that is a lot of fun. So I got to always do this, though, you know, before the matches. I want to get a gauge on who you guys are thinking are going to win. So make some noise if you want TT Esports to win. All right, not too bad, actually, not too bad. You know, obviously being in Sweden and everything, being in Europe, the Australians actually got some fans out here. Not too surprising. I mean, they have been doing very well lately, so. All right, though, now, make some noise if you think Fnatic.Raidcall is going to win. A little bit more. That's kind of expected, so that's kind of expected. All right, so yeah, like I said, you know, not too surprising there, but again, both these teams, very, very quality teams, and at the very least, we're going to have all the finals, guys. The countdown has started. We got Game 1 coming up here. TT Esports taking out Fnatic.Raidcall. One more time, guys, make some noise. Love this crowd, and not only are we able to feed off the energy, but the players as well. You know, cheering after those kills and everything, it really does work. So I'm really looking forward to, again, advancing on in this game. So the good luck, have fun's going out. The banning phase has officially started, Ziori.
Absolutely, and you know, we talk about that pride factor all the time. Today there's a lot of money on the line, but because these 2 teams, or at least the cores of these teams, are facing off again here in the big DreamArena, Pride is definitely a big factor in this series, Breaky.
Yeah, very, very important. And, you know, that's the great thing about this DreamHawn event as a whole. That was a big part of it. It's about that region pride. Obviously, the format of it really came down to, we had teams from Russia, the Commonwealth of Independent States area. We had teams, 2 teams from Southeast Asia, from the Malaysia region. We also had a Fnatic.Raidcall, of course, coming here from Europe, blackfade.org from Europe as well. Then we had Trademark Esports from North America, and then TT Esports, of course, from the Australian or Oceania region. So, yeah, that's a great thing about this event. Again, you know, brings the regions together. We definitely got that experience, and it has been a lot of fun. So,
yeah, kind of an Olympic style of format. You know, you can get behind your fellow countrymen and you know, fight some heroes of the North behind your own flag. So you're exactly right, adding additional motivation for that pride factor. Certainly right. So as we can see, the ban's well underway here, and so far looking fairly regular to the bans that we're kind of used to seeing throughout this tournament. Interestingly enough, though, Aluna first banned by Slicks, who's been a very popular hero throughout this event.
You know what? You were actually bringing this up earlier as far as you're wondering about some stats that were online as far as hero picks and bans and whatnot that were from the last DreamHack event. Wondering if someone was doing it for this event. We eventually found that that was to be the case. And of course, I actually took a look at that, and Aluna has been banned or picked in every single game at this DreamHawn event. So really just a hero that has come on very strong to the competitive scene recently. So yeah, not too surprising to see that. But you look at all the bans overall, can't say I'm too surprised. I mean, you do got that Zephyr ban, who was actually banned by TT Esports, but Fnatic apparently has been running a little bit of Zephyr recently, even at this event. So maybe TT Esports case of them doing the research there.
Yeah, definitely right. And of course, Meraxis banned, as well as Ophelia, Tundra, Jerizaya, all very standard bans, as you mentioned. You know, we see Slicks here first picking Polywog Priest, another popular hero so far in today's and yesterday's event.
Yes, definitely Polywog Priest. Seeing that there, I'm really excited to see if maybe Leon Black going to be playing some Polywog Priest here. He definitely played it a couple of times in this event, at least from what we covered, and played it very, very, very well. So, by the way, I do want to make an update here on, of course, there was a third place match that actually happened here at the DreamHawn event. Trademark Esports took on blackfade.org for their prize pool. It's actually $12,000 in prize pool between the two teams, and blackfade.org took out TDM to get third place here in this tournament. So for those that may have been curious about those results, yeah, make some noise for Blackfade. Exactly. All right, so but the picks actually happening here though, so we'll start with Fnatic. You got your Armadon, Nymphora, Glacius, and Silhouette. So seeing that Nymphora over there, awesome hero to see, but really it promotes that aggressive play. And, you know, here we haven't been able to see too much of the tournament because she's been banned so much.
Yeah, you know, we've been talking about that sort of miniature metagame that's focused around this event, and Nymphora is definitely one such hero that's been banned a lot. Likewise, we see Demented Shaman actually picked up by TT Esports, and I think that's the first time we've seen Demented Shaman either picked or banned in this event of any of the games we've casted.
Yeah, I want to say maybe one at a time, but you're right. I mean, that Unbreakable nerf obviously did a lot on Demented Shaman when it comes to him using that W, and it obviously now increased all the way to 45-second cooldown instead of that 15-second cooldown at the earlier level, so big deal. But look at that right there, a surprise pick perhaps. Pestilence coming out with Corrupted Disciple as well. That is a deadly team. The first thing that, oh my God, look at the amount of minus armor on that team. 4 out of the 5 heroes have a way to reduce armor against Fnatic.Raidcall. That is ridiculous.
Yeah, and on top of that, Polywog's ultimate with those voodoo wards actually do physical damage. So the synergy in this team is absolutely fantastic.
That is, yeah, I don't know if I've ever seen a 4 out of 5 hero lineup like this. Just again, that physical armor reduction, that just is absurd. So I will say Slicks got the chance. We got to see him play Corrupted Disciple. I believe it was against Blackfade in the semifinals, and he dominated with Corrupted Disciple. And Diva, my co-caster at the time, he was mentioning that he thinks he's a very underrated hero. He's surprised we don't see him more often. And with what we saw from that game, I tend to agree with him from what I've seen in the past as well. But Pestilence being played by My Nuts here from TTES. Really excited to see that because I love seeing Pestilence play.
Definitely, Pestilence can be a very, very strong hero. That ultimate, very valuable, of course, not only for that minus armor, but also granting vision to the enemies that it's applied to, also being a great, effective tool to countering nullstones.
And lo and behold, Hani gonna finish off with this classic Behemoth pickup there. So yes, he's definitely been playing quite a bit of Behemoth through this event. We've even seen teams go as far as banning him, but that is right, guys. The countdown has started. Here we go. Fnatic.Raidcall taking on TT Esports. Game number 1 here in this best out of 3. I can't believe we're starting, Ziori.
I know, it's, you know, we have so much, we've talked about DreamHack for so long now. The DreamHon qualifiers leading up to this took a lot of time. It was a lot of casting hours, and now we're finally here at the finals of DreamHack Summer 2012. Yeah. I can't believe how fast it's gone by.
It really has. You know, it's been such a fun experience at the same time, all the way from the qualifiers to this event being here. It's such an awesome time being here, but again, it just has kind of flown by. So here we are in the finals, best out of 3, game number 1 between these two teams, and obviously getting an idea of how things are going to lay. Now, a quick note here, and for those that, you know, do have experience tuning into these DreamHack Finals, excuse me, they can hear what we're saying. The players can definitely hear what we're saying. So obviously we have to be a little bit careful when it comes down to, you know, speaking and talking about what we see on screen. So if the cast seems a little bit different than normal, you know, bear with us, because the last thing we want to do is give out very useful information to the opposition and kind of screw things up. So
absolutely, there will be a bit more retroactive casting here, as you know, once plays happen, we can talk about it, but don't want to give away any secret ganks, don't want to give away any ward locations, Congo attempts, anything like that. So you may see something on the screen, and we may be talking about something different. Keep in mind, some of that will be on purpose.
Yeah, exactly. Some of that, only some of that. It does happen, you know, for those that tune in the normal casting, you know, that does happen from time to time as well. So, but yeah, I love seeing this lineup again, especially on this home team. That Pestilence pickup, man, and you know, Pestilence is one of those heroes. He gets that portal key, especially if you can get that earlier on than later. He becomes such a strong initiator with that portal key. Goes in with, of course, his W being the Impale, and his Q as well with the flight, with that speed burst that he can get with I guess the speed increase actually. That he can get while he has it activated. Very, very useful for chasing down opponents as well as getting away. So then, of course, the Swarm, it's just such an annoying thing to go up against if you're in opposition, and you can constantly apply that left and right. So
yeah, you know, we've been seeing a lot of Hammerstorm play throughout this tournament, mostly a kind of carry Hammerstorm style. And Pestilence reminds me of that a little bit as far as going into Portal Key, Shrunken Head, those core items that transform that hero into someone who can farm in that lane, maybe have a good lane presence, into a very deadly hero killer and initiator. So those core items on Pestilence will be very important in this match.
Yeah, we are seeing the lanes come about right now, and definitely a big thing that stands out to me. By the way, Behemoth going over the finish stun, the block onto Andromeda. There's SCL stun. Glacius with the auto attacks as well. Bubble will go down. Love those kills coming out for a fly right there. Playing them for so the tri-lane, at least up top for now, comes through. Excellent start for Fnatic.Raidcall.
Absolutely right. Bobo playing up a little bit too far forward against this triple stun tri-lane, so hopefully he's a little bit more careful. Looks like the tri-lane is going to dissipate, though, as Glacius is roaming towards mid.
Yeah, that's what makes that's of course what makes Behemoth such a difficult hero to go up against in a lane like this. That Fissure stun, the range that it has, the duration that it lasts is just ridiculous. And we saw right there, perfect example. It doesn't even necessarily need to do damage with it or stun with it. As long as he creates a wall against the opponent that they're going for, then you've done your job pretty much. So very well played again, as expected from Hani right there, as he has been playing once again a lot of Behemoth in this series. So, but yeah, so obviously with that tri-lane to start up top there. Now Corrupt Disciple and Andromeda, perhaps keeping that in mind. The Fissure's not going to be used once again, but not going to really come through this time. But this actually brings up an interesting point about this top lane. That's a very odd combination of heroes, really. You do look at, I guess Behemoth is going to be the one to go for some farm at that top lane, but actually Nymphora has the 2 creep kills to the 1, so I don't know if it's necessarily here for farm, actually. It's more so to try to lock down this Corrupted Disciple.
Yeah, and I think you make a really good point. And also, if Behemoth can pick up some of that farm instead of the traditional roaming Behemoth who really doesn't farm much, Hani may be able to pick up a more timely Portal Key, of course a more timely Ring of Sorcery as well, and that's always good news for a Behemoth.
Yeah. Very, very good news indeed. But for right now, it seems like Corrupted Disciple, despite that start right there, actually having a fairly good time. But with the lane getting pushed up, may want to be a little bit careful, of course. Dimension Shaman coming to the bottom lane against this Armadon here, of course, with the Pestilence nearby. And my guess is that Pestilence is having a fairly good time. And sure enough, it looks like he is with a 9-1 score. In the meantime, though, Glacius pushing up a little bit too far. We're going to see the Impale stun come out. Glacius is being played by Nova in a lot of trouble. Actually going to eat through the trees, though. And he will actually escape. So very good getaway coming out right there from Nova on Glacius.
Definitely right. We saw Demented Shaman had to back up because those Armadon spines were stacking up, forcing Watalaba back towards the tower. If he had a few less spines, he may have been able to move in for a few more auto attacks to help finish off Glacius. But No-Tail had beautiful positioning to force back that Demented Shaman.
Yeah. by the way, we've got Arrow, of course, playing the Silhouette, and he's actually playing the solo mid role as Silhouette. Not too often we see that, to be honest, but going up against Leon Black's Polywalk Priest expecting me all back to the top lane, though. Fidgetstone out once again. Corrupted Disciple gonna fight back, though, and they're gonna fight back pretty hard right here as you see Behemoth and Amphora are both forced to fall back. But Corrupted Disciple obviously need to be a little bit careful. He is sitting currently at half-life. He does have little red booties, though, so I can lay Speed Burst away. But yeah, Polywalk Priest against Silhouette, and so far it seems like a Silhouette is winning that matchup 15-7 compared to your 8-2 Polywalk Priest.
Yeah, definitely right. That's great news here for our Legion side. And like you said, it's really pretty rare to see a solo Silhouette mid, but in the hands of Era, I'm sure he'll farm very nicely. In the top lane, Hani in a little bit of trouble. The follow-up's not going to be there, though. He's going to be able to survive safe and sound. Going to use that health potion. Yeah,
going to be fine, but definitely a lot of harassment going on that top lane from both of these teams right here. So letting one another that they're there to make a fight happen. So that's definitely being accomplished. Oh, by the way, let me get these things out here. So I apologize. And obviously using a new computer for this finals production here, so I mean, some things may not be out, but there we go. Anyways, Silhouette currently level 5 right now, and obviously, again, looking very, very good start here with the Arrow playing that. Fidgetstone once again coming out, but really more so it just seems like for harassment purposes, as he does have a Grace of the Nymph constantly being applied to him, bringing his mana back up. So it definitely makes sense why he seems to be using that Fidgetstone so often as he is.
Yeah, the drafting from Fnatic here was actually spot on. Seeing these heroes, I first would have thought Amphora Armadon would be a lane combo for sure. It's so powerful, but seeing that Glacius picked up, that opens up a whole nother opportunity to put the Behemoth with the Amphora. Like you said, that unlimited mana practically for Behemoth. Quite powerful, allowing him to spam those fissures much more than an ordinary situation.
Jeez, look at Silhouette here in the middle lane actually dominating. It seems like level 6 already applying pressure to the base tower. Now, of course, we'll need to be careful. As soon as Polywalk Priest hits that level 6 mark, that's where things get a little bit more dangerous. So Leon Black, I'm sure he is hoping that he can get that sooner than later, but you see that relentless salvo auto attacks. How much burst damage just from the right clicks alone are coming out from our Silhouette player. It just makes her such a dominant hero to go up against. So, but yeah, I'm waiting for that level 6 moment because I have a feeling Leon Black is itching to go for a possible war trap here.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. Corrupted Disciple in the top lane, going to eat another Fissure Stun. And with that mana, as we talked about, not only is it solid to set up those kills, but it's just a great harass. The area of influence on that Fissure Stun can be so irritating to deal with. There's really not much Corrupted Disciple can do to mitigate that damage for the sake of harassment.
Bottom lane, we do see the flash going to be activated, and actually Glacius once again in a lot of trouble. Will Nova get away this time? I don't think he is. There's just not enough going to be happening. The Untangle Soul now. There's the Impale. That might up right there on Pestilence. Gets the kill. The first kill of the game coming out for TT Esports. So a great chase into the jungle. Now I will say Armadon has been able to free farm you at the top lane though. Double stun coming out on Amphora, and Amphora the auto attack's not enough to able to get out of range. So Behemoth Fissure Stun blocking enough on a Corrupted Disciple right here. So Slicks will be fine as well. But again, the harassment continues at that top side.
Yeah, this top lane is very back and forth, both sides really trying to be aggressive as aggressive as they can, but really haven't been able to secure any kills other than that initial Bloodlust. We see Behemoth continuing to harass with the Fissure, trying to chip away at him to possibly set something up, as we see Corrupted Disciple and Andromeda both at about half health, and they should be running low on regeneration. They're both completely out of regen, no health potions or runes of blight left.
Yeah. That's definitely something they need to keep in mind, of course, again, with just a constant harassment coming out, as you keep mentioning, from that Behemoth especially. Something very, very dangerous. Double damage for Silhouette here in the middle lane. Going to start pounding onto the tower, so very good news right there. But at the bottom lane, in comes Polywalk Priest. The War Trap comes out. Armadon able to squirt on out of there. It looks like, no, he's not going to get away. The wards are enough damage to take him out. Now the tower is going to start falling as well, as they are in range. So very well placed wards there from Leon Black. And this creep wave very likely going to be taken out quickly. Glacius needs to be careful, as there's a very likely possibility they're going to die this. In fact, there we go with the flight. The Impale, ooh, he doesn't use it right there. He doesn't have enough mana, actually, it looks like. So seems like Glacius may be able to get away. In the meantime, at the top side, some more action. Middle tower goes down, though, but the bottom tower also falls. So action at all three lanes happen.
Yeah, like you said, that the ward placement for Leon Black right there was spot on. It's money in the bank if you can set it up to pick up a kill, but also push the tower afterwards. So beautifully done by Leon Black. As you mentioned, all the while, Silhouette getting a solo tower kill in the mid lane. So Era certainly satisfied with that exchange. Still leading the way in farm now, just below that 400 GPM mark. Only 7 minutes into this game.
Yeah, you see that. You see that go for minute mark there for Silhouette. It's pretty damn impressive, but can't say I'm too surprised. Again, for one, it's Era, and two, he's had very good free farm there in the middle lane. Definitely very dominant against the Polywalk Priest. And no, that isn't surprising because, again, Silhouette, very, very powerful with that roll on the salvo, with that Death Lotus, excellent harassing utility, as well as just pure raw damage from the early on levels. So no surprise that Leon Black, as great of a player that he is, didn't have the greatest time in that middle lane. But at least he has been very helpful for the team, as we saw at the bottom side, setting up the gank, of course. So, but in the meantime, at the top lane, Behemoth kind of just still doing his own thing up here with Nymphora's assistance. Does have his little red booties. I do wonder who actually is getting more of the farm up here. It seems like Behemoth is for the most part, but Nymphora has managed to get some creep kills in here and there. So, in the middle lane, though, Silhouette actually in a lot of trouble once again. The Impale going to be used. There's the electric level. Look at the ports coming in from Fnatic.Raidcall, and Silhouette going to stand her ground. And the support is now here, ready to go. Nice fissures down about the wrong side, unfortunately. So Pestilence will be more than fine, but it might have trapped Demented. Shami's going to try to sneak it out of there. Can Witalaba get away? Will the support come in time? It doesn't look like it. The Death Lotus suit. There we go. Aaron will pick up the kill right there. Smack down on top of that. So well played again by Fnatic.Raidcall.
Great work from Fnatic.Raidcall supporting Era in the mid lane. I thought that was going to be an easy kill for our Hellborn side, but alas, Fnatic.Raidcall was there to keep their carry safe and sound.
Double damage rune again, this time activated on Polywalk Priest though, so double damage rune. The rune gods are coming through for us, but yeah, so that's not able to fully push the tower, of course, though, as we do see it's more than fine there in the middle lane. So, but yeah, I wonder what Behemoth, again, being played by Hani here. Well, we do see right there, actually, Ring of Sorcery already purchased. We did talk about this earlier as well. Definitely an item that Heap really prefers to go early on, and then possibly that Portal Key next in line here.
Exactly right. Behemoth being a strength hero that deals so much magic damage, he has such a small mana pool at the early levels, so that Ring of Sorcery really is a core item. He needs that mana pool just to be able to use all of his abilities in tandem. Even though Nymphora is here to regenerate the mana, as well as that Ring of Sorcery, it may feel like a little bit of overkill, but adding that 300 max mana is really what's important.
Yeah. Yeah, look at Pestilence farm in the meantime. He's actually doing pretty solid. He's got his Steam Boots and Mystic Vestments picked up. So, again, going the early on stat items, upgrading those boots. No surprise there, but really curious to see whether or not he finds it necessary to go for either a Shrunken Head first priority, or if he just starts to rush that Portal Key and get it as soon as possible. I think the Portal Key probably makes more sense. I mean, I'm looking at this team. I mean, Shrunken Head useful as always, really, but I don't think it's by any means a necessity here against them. So
yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see that as his second item. I wouldn't quite call it a luxury item, but I would agree with you. That Portal Key is going to be so important for that initiation power, and Polywalk Priest probably going to be looking towards a Portal Key once farm allows.
Yeah, so we'll see that. Again, Portal Key is going to be an item of choice here for many heroes. Obviously, Behemoth, definitely another one in line to pick up that Portal Key. So, Armadon, on the other hand, it seems like, again, his farm wasn't too shabby at this bottom lane, and that is being represented by 275 gold per minute currently. And, he's getting closer and closer to finishing the Helm of the Black Legion, it looks like, with the Ring of Teacher and Little Red Booties. So, always a dangerous item for your opposition, Armadon, to pick up here. So, we'll see when he eventually gets that, but again, Era comes back to the middle lane and just doing his thing. So Era's farm continuing to just skyrocket here. Now, I don't want to say that TT Esports hasn't been ganking, because obviously they have been attempting to, and we did see a lot of action in that middle lane, but Era's just been able to survive it.
Yeah, I mean, TT Esports, I think, is going to continue to play pretty passive throughout this game until they get those core items, and that's when we're going to see their synergies really start to shine. We talked about all of that minus armor. I mean, Demented Shaman's not even level 6 yet, so he doesn't have that ultimate that really allows him to be that valuable minus armor tool to synergize with his team. So I'm not surprised to see TT Esports playing a little bit more passively, just sitting back, farming, saying, okay, we're a little bit behind right now. We're going to make it up in the team fights later on.
Yeah. A little bit of group in the middle lane in the meantime, as we do see Andromeda actually throwing out the Aurora, but nothing more going to come of that. So the middle lane looks like it'll be fine for now. Pestilence continuing to go down here. Oh, but we see Nymphoria importing in actually in a 4-man gangle instead of comes out of nowhere. The Behemoth Bitterton and might have some Pestilence. He's more than dead right now. That Mystic Pestilence keeping it alive a little bit longer, but not going to be down power. The War Chart comes out, and TT Esports want revenge for their fallen teammate, and they'll get it at least on Nymphoria. So it ends up being a 1-for-1 exchange between the two. So I don't know what that is. That's something appears with Microsoft. Hopefully not going to be happening too much more, because that's damn loud. Yeah. But anyways, yeah, so a great comeback fight there in the end by our Hellborn team right there. So
yeah, absolutely. Really don't know if that's our fault or something.
I don't know. I'm not doing anything different.
Touching the mouse, that's about it. Yes.
Okay, anyways. So, as we see right here, though, Some more. Now, I actually wanted to make this point earlier that, you know, especially at these final events where we're in such a huge venue, you know, you got the arena here. You're playing for so much money on the line. Again, $32,000 for first place, $16,000 for second place. There tends to be a little bit more passive play than usual when it comes down to it. And obviously, these two teams, you know, we only have a 3-3 game right now, 13 minutes in. So, you know, the passive play, you can definitely argue is there. But honestly, you know, again, from a history of experiencing some previous DreamHack finals, they've actually been playing, the ganks attempts have been there. So maybe the hero kills don't necessarily reflect that. So I do like the somewhat aggressive play that we are seeing coming out from these two teams. And I hope that that pace does keep up, because as a spectator, that's what you live for as far as who's going to go. Oh, Behemoth gets spotted right there, the invisible room, but the revelation will catch him off guard, and Hani will fall to the ground. Perfect job right there from our Hellborn team.
Absolutely great read from TT Esports right there, throwing down that revelation ward. With Talaba actually the one to throw down the ward, and of course setting up that kill on the Hani. Very well done.
That was, yeah, definitely, obviously must have seen him pick it up somewhere. Just had a feeling that he was just hanging around nearby. So sure enough, again, just a very smart read on their part. And now the middle tower dropping quickly right here. Obviously no wards being used from Polywog Priest, but, you know, I don't think it's even necessary. It's just with all 5 of them here, more than enough damage. And vulnerability is going to be used, but that'll just delay the inevitable here. And of course, TT Esports will get the tower kill. So you see that goal coming very, very even now between these two teams. In the meantime, though, Armadon pressuring that top tower here.
Absolutely, and just going to make note of that as well. No-Tail looks like he's going to be able to secure the tower kill in the top lane. Going to get a nice little gold pick-me-up. Now the Voodoo Ward's going to be used on this Tier 2 tower, though it looks like TT Esports not going to commit to taking it out.
Yeah, and I mean, speaking of that Armadon, again, you look at Farm, he's definitely up there as well. He's even catching up to Silhouette right now, 350 mark. So, and his items, by all means, showing for it again, that early Helm of the Black Legion, and a good amount of gold saved up as well. So we'll see what he decides to go for next. But in the meantime, Corrupted Disciple going to come up here and put a defense at this top lane. You see Silhouette obviously there as well, but not too much is going to happen onto her, at least for now. So nothing coming from that. But yeah, Armadon's farm seems to be very impressive throughout this game, and obviously that could be dangerous here for TT Esports.
Yeah, for a while it was just Silhouette that was farming very, very nicely. Had a huge GPM and actually a really nice XP per minute lead as well. But Armadon has caught up, and now Fnatic.Raidcall really has a solid lead set up here. Only 15 minutes into our first game.
Yeah, and the fact that, you know, him and Silhouette doing a good job. And, you know, Nefora, obviously, level 6, we did see him already porting to that bottom lane, of course, to set up a gank. So, not too surprised about that. But I want to say, you know, it would be nice to see, of course, as we always like to see, of course, Fly playing this Nefora here, to see, you know, used just constantly, pretty much every single cooldown, at least near it, if possible. But at the same time, you know, babysitting your heroes and making sure they get farm is also a good thing. I mean, you look at this team, don't necessarily have that go-to hero that Nefora can really port with, I guess. I mean, Behemoth, sure, but, you know, just them two, you know, not a good chance that they may get the kills depending on the situation. So
yeah, usually we see that Nefora port paired with someone who really benefits from a portal key. So if Silhouette does opt to pick up a portal key after the Null Stone, that I'm sure is going to come out with that plus orb, you know, perhaps that will be the time Nefora does use that ultimate a little bit more proactively, though. He did set up 1 kill with it already, so off to a pretty good start.
Look at Silhouette, though. This is just what Era does. He's been doing this for so long. He's been doing this whole tournament. I mean, it's almost as if he's just playing his own game, as Diva so appropriately put it, playing kind of Hello Kitty Online, his PvE mission over here, just doing his own thing, and just gonna eventually, the goal is, of course, from that to eventually carry the team in the end. So he's attempting to do that, and, you know, again, the GPM definitely showing that, as well as the items that he currently has with the Blessed Orb. So we'll see where he goes from there. Of course, the Nullstone or the Geometer's Bane, two very likely options here for Silhouette.
Yeah, that Nullstone's definitely become the go-to core item on Silhouette. It seems pretty rare these days that we actually don't see a Nullstone first. So I'd be a little bit surprised to see the Geometer's Bane, though, as you mentioned, certainly a viable option.
Yeah, so we'll see eventually what she decides to go for.
Yes, Pestilence actually going for the Beast Heart, so not going to go for that super fast portal key as we were considering.
Yeah, and you know what? The more I think about it, that actually makes a bit of sense here, because again, I talked about that flight ability earlier and the movement speed, the great movement speed that it gives him for chasing down opponents and maybe getting a good position. But you look at Armadon, you look at Silhouette, a good amount of damage coming out from them. So instead of really, you know, having an initiation factor, it's more of, you know what, you can sure do some damage to me while I'm running in, but I'll be able to at least survive it. So I can see why he has chosen to go, or it looks like at least is choosing to go that Helm of the Black Legion route. We'll see if it follows up with that, but, you know, possible portal key after that, though. I wouldn't be surprised to see.
Yeah, I think it's just going to sort of delay the aggressive potential here from TT Esports, as we talked about. Probably just going to be waiting for that timing when they can really get aggressive here. But some engagement on the Minots on that Pestilence Era with that invisibility rune, and of course Nymphora bringing in Behemoth. There's the Smackdown Era going to pick up that kill on the TT Esports Minots.
Love seeing the Smackdown kills, and of course with the taunts coming out, all the many different taunts in Heroes of New Earth. It's always fun to see what the players actually use. So that one right there, of course, the rock and roll taunt coming out from Arrow. So well played once again, and obviously Arrow was going to sneak it around there for a while. So Pestilence just really had no clue. So now a 2-0-0 Arrow, 405 gold per minute currently. Just so strong here. And again, that next item should be coming in the near future, you would think, with the money that he actually has saved up. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're exactly right. He'll be able to make an executive decision with his core items here coming up pretty quick.
So we got, again, more just farming going on. It's still remaining a 4-4 hero kill game here. Double damage rune on Armadon here at this bottom lane. By the way, speaking of Armadon, again, he's been having some very good farm as Soul's Bulwark has also been picked up to go with those Plated Greaves. So he's becoming that massive tank issue here for our Hellborn team. But again, the funny thing is, with all the armor that he is getting added up now, getting close to 20 armor here, looks like we're getting a lot of minus armor coming out from our Hellborn side. You got Pestilence alone, even with level 1 Swarm. You're looking at minus, I believe it's the -5. Yeah, -5 armor just from him alone. But you got Stormcloud on top of that. Of course, you got Overload from Disciple. So
I mean, generally speaking, we would see 1 or 2 minus armor heroes. As you mentioned in the picking phase, I don't know that I've ever seen this much minus armor on one team. So normally we could say, well, you know, the way armor works, Armadon's already off to a great start, a great counter to this team, but I don't know that it's going to be enough armor. I mean, unless he picks up a Frostfield plate as well as all his other core items, adding armor as well as a barbed armor. And that still may not be enough once we get into the later stages of this match.
Yeah, so we will see how that eventually plays out for these two guys. But again, still remaining a 4-4 hero kill game, coming up to the 20-minute mark now. But yeah, you see look at the GPM chart. It continues to get more and more impressive, it seems like, for our Legion side here. Where Hellborn side, I mean, don't get me wrong, obviously TT Esports, they definitely have their positives, but Silhouette and Armadon kind of a little bit on a league of their own. So again, we'll see how much of an impact that truly means to be. Of course, Corrupted Disciple, you know, I keep going back to that minus armor that they have. So despite them being maybe a little bit under-farmed compared to the Legion team, if they come together and they get that synergy with those abilities, this Corrupted Disciple and Pestilence, and as you mentioned earlier, with the Polywar Priest wards being physical damage, they can still definitely drop these Legion heroes fairly quickly. So
yeah, exactly. It's still a very well-rounded team. They have some solid crowd control, a lot of stuns, a lot of initiation. Very well-rounded team for our Hellborn side. You want to note, Leon Black on that Polywog Priest has picked up his portal key. So probably part of the reason why Pestilence opting for that slightly more defensive build is they do have Polywog Priest to play that initiation role.
Yeah, so great news. Of course, a hero that you definitely want to be picking up a portal key on if you can get it. You see a Silhouette of static from this top lane, but in comes that portal key once again from Polywog Priest to actually nullify it. Took away the Null Sun. There comes the Tongue Tide coming out. In comes Pestilence. And Penal's not going to be used. And Silhouette will end up playing. But Behemoth with the portal key. Down goes Polywog Priest. There's a swap from Andromeda over. Commissar onto Behemoth. And Behemoth will go to the ground. Glaciers will fall as well. And then forced to run out of there. What a turnaround from TT Esports. It looked like Fnatic MSI. Wow, Fnatic.Raidcall was actually going to come back right there, but no, TT Esports held their ground.
Absolutely, and that was such a good choice right there. A 1-for-3 exchange, and then the follow-up from these kills is going to be so good. They're going to be able to score a pretty much free tower kill. Actually not. They are going to port back to defend. They're going to try and take out No Tail down here in the bottom lane. The Swarm is activated. Are they going to be able to catch up? The Armadon's quite the speedy critter, and he is going to be able to make it away. So that's a little bit upsetting for TT Esports. They do defend the bottom tier 1 tower, but they don't get that kill in the top lane.
The biggest problem with that was, you know, if they had Polywog Priest up, then by all means do that, because he's the one with the portal key, and he would have obviously been able to jump in and, you know, either Morphin or Tongue-Tied him and buy time to kill him. So the fact that they didn't have that portal key hero, though, and Swarm was still on, not Swarm, but Flight was still on cooldown for Pestilence, they just were not able to catch up to him. So you're right. I mean, I really think they should have just stayed and got the tower kill, and maybe that would have worked out better, but they also did save the bottom, as you mentioned. So yeah, maybe, I guess, you know, give and take. And in the end, I'm fine with it. You know what? TT Esports, I'm fine. It's okay. I'll let it go.
Very good. So Leon Black now continuing with the items, does have that glowstone, and we've seen that be a pretty popular build. Staff of the Master, a fairly rare item, though a few choice heroes that it is seen on, Polywog Priest being one of them.
Yeah. Yeah, we mentioned that earlier on in this tournament. It's Staff of the Master, as fun of an item it would be to see more and more, because it's just such a cool concept for an item that it you know, either changes or enhances or whatnot to your ultimate ability, obviously. But Polywalk Priest is, at least as far as the competitive scene goes, just really one of those heroes that we do see it on from time to time. So wouldn't be surprised, and we talked about that earlier too, you know, again, just the base stats that it provides. It's not just about the effect of it, honestly, it gets very good stats. So that'll help big time for a Polywalk Priest as well. So,
yeah, you know, sort of a recent change to the recipe that does make it a little bit more of a well-rounded item, giving agility, strength, and intellect on top of some of those base stats. So you're exactly right, a little bit more to it than just that ultimate effect.
Yeah, so Demonic Breastplate already finished on Armadon. So I found that very interesting that the way that Armadon is addressing this mass amount of minus armor is, I'm going to stack as much armor as possible. It's almost what it seems like here to start off this game. Of course, the Ring of the Teacher, the Plated Greaves, the Demonic Breastplate. Hell, at this rate, I wouldn't be surprised to see a Frostfield plate on him with what he's going with. So, and you know, I find that very interesting, but that is a strategy. You know, you could argue maybe just going for massive life, so an early Behemoth's hard as soon as possible could be the viable strategy too, but no, he's going the mass armor route, and they are going to get the bottom tower kill. Finally, as Armadon comes back and takes it out.
Yeah, other good news here for Fnatic.Raidcall. Hani, sitting level 10, has now picked up his portal key. That's a relatively early portal key for Behemoth in the grand scheme of things. Up in the top lane, though, some initiation onto Fnatic Fly. Looks like he may fall here. He's in big trouble. The Astrolabe going to be used at 1 or 2 hits from death, and he is going to be able to get away. The creep's actually going to path block both Slicks and Bobo a little bit there, and that's going to be enough for him to get away. Pestilence coming in with that flight, but not going to overcommit.
Yeah, while that's happening, you see the bottom lane, actually, they're porting, and the wards come down. Armadon be alarmed, but Behemoth once again, the Avengers done, and Fnatic.Raidcall turns it around completely. Pestilence being locked down, the tower's just about dead as well. Pestilence will deny that tower at the very least, but he will too fall, and that is going to be a 4-man kill right there for Fnatic.Raidcall, and a massive push incoming. So you talk about game-changing moments, that was most certainly one of them right there.
Absolutely, there is money for buyback on Leon Black and Maya Nuts, and they may be forced to use a buyback already. The positioning of that fight was so good for Fnatic.Raidcall, now able to put pressure on this tier 3 tower in the base. They are going to be coming up very soon. The tower actually going to fall here, it looks like. I don't know if the glyph is up, and well, they didn't use it to save the tower. Era going to be the one to pick up that last hit. 25-minute melee rack's going to fall here, Breaky CPK.
That is unbelievable here for the just all of a sudden happened. I mean, 2 minutes ago, that bottom lane had its first tower up, and now all of a sudden it's being pushed into the base. We do see Armadon taking a bit of damage right here. Looks like eventually will be fine though. Has a nice fissure block right there coming out actually. And that'll make it very easy getaway for Armadon. So big damage done. I mean, they got 3 tower kills in total. They got the melee racks. They got 4 hero kills. Behemoth being played by Hani. Again, this was expected almost, but this is why we saw people even banning Behemoth against Fnatic.Raidcall.
I mean, this is some of the best Behemoth play we've seen thus far. Notably, we haven't seen too much. As you said, he's been banned a fair amount against Hani in particular, but so far these fissure blocks have been spot on. Like you said, a huge momentum shift now. Fnatic.Raidcall ahead by a pretty significant margin, as you can see it at the top of the screen. And, well, they are in pretty good shape now. As I said, only 25 minutes in.
It's definitely looking much, much better. You see Armadon, he doesn't even care. You know, he's just up here doing his own thing as if the Hellborn team can do nothing about it. However, Silhouette will get caught right here. This will be a huge kill for TT Esports. Can Silhouette actually survive through this? I believe not. And there we go. So big kill coming out from TT Esports at least. You know, it's definitely a step in the right direction, but not to get too ahead of ourselves because there's definitely a long way to go. Not a long way, but a ways to go here for TT Esports if they are going to have that comeback train coming.
Yeah, definitely right. And, you know, the difference in towers is what's really hurting TT Esports right now. The hero kill difference actually isn't that significant. Only 9 to 8, but we see a pretty huge disparity in both gold and experience. And some of that speaks to how well Fnatic's been farming. And just looking at the levels, both NoTail and Era, way ahead on that XP per minute chart.
Yeah, it's pulling that up right here. And, yeah, definitely an example of that right there. So, but something I wanted to bring up, actually, we did see an example right there of Pestilence, the power of Swarm, and how it's great for deactivating Null Stones as well. So with Silhouette picking up that Null Stone, again, I still agree with it by all means. You got your swap, you got Polywalk Priest can help against him, you got even the Conduit from Corrupted Disciple can be useful against. So, but that Swarm will be able to easily deactivate it, and of course, with it only being on a 10-second cooldown, well, you more than likely be up if they need it to be. So, and it's even Entangle from Demented Shaman for that matter. So it has its downsides too, but still just worth mentioning. But yeah, by all means, still a very valuable pickup on Silhouette, of course. So I just believe, though, Armadon may have purchased a new item. We'll see when that gets to him, but That's going to be interesting. So Tablet of Command actually picked up on Behemoth as well. So that goes to show you the farm that he's had. We're only 27.5 minutes in. He has a Portal Key, Ring of Sorcery, and Tablet of Command now.
Yeah, and that's sort of what we were mentioning in that top lane, although it's a little bit unorthodox to see Behemoth picking up that early farm. It certainly does pay off. He's got these core items, and he's having a driving force in this game. It's very refreshing to see instead of the Behemoth that just sort of wanders around trying to set up ganks, but ultimately struggles until about the 30-minute mark or so when he gets that first core item. Hani obviously way ahead of that, and that is, like I said, very, very good news. And looks like we could see a potential engage here as Fnatic.Raidcall looking like they want to put some pressure on this tier 2 tower here in the mid lane.
Yeah, there's that item I was talking about. Axe the Malphite picked up an armor. Also going a bit of life here now. It's over 2,100 life with all the armor that he has handed up. So we'll see the offensive strong play. Comes the Portal Key from Pestilence and a jump on a Silhouette. They're going to play like the ball once again. Behemoth here to save the day with the stomp. Isn't going to be enough to return. Silhouette still well alive. We see Pestilence will fall and Behemoth just trying to run away. Not going to happen though, but Armadon is still alive throughout all of this. And now comes the Disciple is the one that needs to be careful. You do see Silhouette as well. She's being locked in the background. Silhouette will go down, so a big pick there in the end from TT eSports. And Glacius, a Glacial downpour. Probably not going to matter in the end, but doing as much damage as possible. But a double tap coming out for Slicks. However, the tower will fall as Armadon